Hello, my name is Hudson Waddles. I am a sophomore at Oakland University, and this year I am studying abroad in Kansai Garai University in Japan. This is my bi-daily record of everything that I've done, everything I will do, and everything that I hope to share with you guys, and maybe inspire someone else to travel abroad, because I think everyone should do it at least once in their life. Hello, today is Friday. I'm going to be going over Thursday and Friday today. Thursday is going to be less complaining than today is because today kind of blew just a little bit, but it's all right. It's fine. Um, I'm all showered and clean. My hair is just a little wet, and I'm trying to attempt to shape it before I go to bed. I've learned for whatever reason that having a hood on it helps control it. I don't know why. Um, this is by far my favorite hoodie. It's a Boba Fett. Thank you, mother. This is Boba Bubba. Coolest sweatshirt I am. And it's like ridged. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like textured. There's nothing on the hood. I already looked. I thought there was like a this piece on the side of it. I already looked. Um, Enough about my awesome hoodie. Yesterday was I had my global cuisine class as well as my monsters and ghosts class. Global cuisine was kind of just a rundown of everything that's going to be happening next week. But the beginning of it was finishing up our current lesson, current unit, because next week is going to be the test released as well as like it's going to be all cumulative. So everything that we've studied up to this point is fair game, which granted makes sense. We only had a quiz the first time around, so um, it could be anything: Michelin tests, Wushoku, classical foods, common foods. Um, uh, Pillars of Rio, the the Gyoshi Rokyu, stuff like that. Um, Probably butchered that name, but it's fine. So everything is fair game for the test. We also finished watching. We also actually not finished watching. We started and finished watching a video on. Water away. Sake. We watched a sake like from start to finish get brewed and distilled and processed and all that stuff. It's actually pretty cool. There's a lot of processes to just making sake, aside from obviously growing the rice, but you have to grow rice, polish it, which gets polished for like 50 hours to remove only 60% of the outside material to get the pure starch on the inside. And then sake rice and table rice are grown differently, processed differently, obviously, but they're different in species as well. It's not just one kind of rice. And I thought there was white and brown rice. It shows you how smart I am in the global food section. Um, but there is another type, another just additional starch on the in the center of the rice. That is what they use to officially ferment into sugars and turn into alcohol. But they end up like polishing the rice. They steam it for a long time. They take batches and batches and cover it with a mold to make it turn it into kind of, pardon me, not a yeast, but an agent. They just use the mold to turn it into an enzyme, and they end up distilling it with more rice, yeast distilled yeast number 6, something like that, and it gets thrown into a vat where it gets stirred around for a couple of months. And it's brewed during the winter because fresh water and smarter people than I know better reasons. So it's pretty interesting. It's a big process. It's a long process, and this is just for one type of sake. There are lots and lots and lots. We're gonna have a tasting eventually. I don't know when, but I think it's pretty cool. Um, After that, we kind of went over. We breezed through just a brief slide. It was like, all right, this is what we're review. If you have any questions, just text me, email me immediately. If you have any question on this or this, and then a couple of hands went up and we got it early. For lunch that day, I went down to the lower cafeteria again, and I had a different lunch pizza. This one was teriyaki chicken. For pizza, it's pretty good. They don't cook all the way through because the bread's always super, super doughy, and I made a mess. So, but I had a blonde something, Cafe Blanc, seasonal. Parfait is the word I'm looking for. That was pretty good. For whatever reason, there was chocolate. That's not the weird thing. The weird thing is I tasted like a fruit cocktail. I don't know if there's something wrong with me. Tasting peaches while eating chocolate, but that's just how I tasted it. And also Rice Krispies with ice cream. Interesting combination. Not my favorite. Not terrible, admittedly, but I also didn't particularly care for it that much. So, see how the next time goes over if I choose to get a parfait again from that. But afterwards, I had my Monsters and Ghosts class, and that day was just all presentations, just 100% presentations. There were like 6, 7 of them. I've forgotten most of them. They were not that enthralling. Some of them I did remember because they made me mad. There are references to gods that weren't actually gods of the thing that they were called gods of. There was a High School DxD reference as a Shinigami, which is a god of death. So that was funny. There were just interesting characters presenting. People in that class I didn't really know existed until they decided to participate in talking, because the talking is mainly done by me and 4 other people in the center of the room. It's probably fine with them as long as they get to talk. They don't have to do anything, but it makes it so boring when the teacher kind of looks out at the crowd of just like people who couldn't care less to be there. I'm like, I'd love to answer you, but I feel like it'd be better if I had like a one-on-one discussion with you, and I'm being taught what you want to tell me instead of what you're trying to tell to a bunch of glassy eyes. I'm interested in what we're talking about, but then the lack of participation makes the teaching aspect of that class probably super miserable. So I feel bad for our professor. But it was just 6 rapid fire presentations. We got pretty quickly again. And then last night, I don't remember where it fell. Couldn't tell you. This morning I went to Japanese class. We had review for our test. We got to go around kind of the same, well, for our oral test, I should say. We had to do the same kind of review as we did on Monday, which was writing stuff down. We were practicing speaking, we were answering questions, practicing formulating questions and more complex answers. So I thought that was fun. I really liked the Japanese class. I really like it a lot. We don't learn anything new a little bit, but I'm also getting accustomed to what we've learned so far, which I enjoy. And just being able to utilize what I've learned is fun. My forehead's itchy. I need a haircut. And then afterward, I came back here. I didn't eat anything today until after I got done with my class, my medicine class, and I kind of regret it because I'm not exactly hungry, but also I'm just really, really snacky, and I want something satisfying. I want like a decent meal, which I haven't had. I ate a whole cafe pizza, just little personal pizza. And it wasn't that great. I want to go to a restaurant. I want to go to a decent, like genuine restaurant, and not order appetizers or anything, but like an actual meal. And I know there are places around, and my cooking instructor would not gonna kill me, but I have them written down, that the restaurants that I should go to. And maybe I can go to Osaka tomorrow. I want to go to a Pokemon Center. We'll see what happens. I want to go to a Pokemon Center so bad. But my medicine class. I am done beating around around the bush with that class. It's a joke. It is 100% a joke. For class, we watched the German movie Das Experiment, which is a train wreck from start to finish. You don't learn things about anybody. It's one of those adult movies where you have like lots to think about in between, deciphering what the devil is going on. Boring, super boring. Give me a Michael Day film any day of the week. I will watch Marvel movies on repeat until my eyes bleed and my brain is numb, rather than watch that again. Not only was Das Experiment super dark and convoluted, but it had nothing to do with what we were talking about. Nothing to do. And granted, I might have learned more had I stuck around for the end of the class. But 2 hours in, our professor left to go do something. I turned my mind map, got an A. After I already left, I just left the classroom. I just walked out. Me and some other dude looked at each other. Just, are you done? I'm done. Another class to go to. He left upstairs. We parted our ways immediately after exiting the classroom. Just done. Just done. Stupid class. Stupid class. We watched someone get um, we watched someone get this close to being assaulted. Rated R. The preface of the movie from our professor was, "Don't worry, there's nothing." Let me put this in a kid-friendly way. Um, Explicit, which was a lie, by the way. We saw um, several naked people, not all the way naked, but there was. That didn't discriminate between the top halves of male or female. So it was more explicit than the last movie we watched, and that one had a dude just straight up cheating on his wife in the movie, just for fun, because he was bored in his marriage. That was the movie that we pirated, and we found the hookup ads when our professor had the digital copy, the real hard copy of the movie. We decided to pirate it first, but that's a different topic. So Assault, that was pretty cool to watch. We got a rope. We got to see a rope, a smock hiked up, and pants were dropped. We saw people. We were beaten to death, beaten and ostracized, shot, beaten to death with a fire extinguisher, shot again, a stab wound, with the knife still just hanging out there. Um, some chick who almost killed the main protagonist on her way home from her dad's funeral. Turns out that she can hold a gun and wield it at an expert level. She's being approached by some tool bag, tagged him in the foot. He kept coming. She double tapped him in the gut. That's a true story. I watched him drop after she unfazed. And they have like the actors be like, "Oh no, I shot someone." No, tap, keep going, tap tap. I mean, respect for her, honestly. Girl power, whatever. Not the girl who's being assaulted, different lady. Um, yeah, it would mentally twisted. Mentally, they made a guy stand naked with the word "wuss" on his back, not "wimp" on his back, and just made him stand naked there to humiliate him. They stuck another PTSD dude into a claustrophobia box, beat a dude to death, beat another dude almost to death. Yeah, fun show. I wanted I if I missed the discussion again, I couldn't care less. But I'm willing to put money on the fact that the discussion was like in relation to our last week's lecture, which was how to formulate a hypothesis, which is what you need for, I don't know, that's an experiment. Done. Done with that class. I'm really done with that class. I'm almost 90% sure that our professor has some fascination with procreation and genitalia in that aspect because he was full front and center for everything that was he's attentive to the movie when anything sex ed popped up in all aspects of the word. I'm not saying that we're being taught by a pervert, but there were a lot of German butts in the movie. Mammary glands were present. Not a good movie. Dark, dark movie. It's probably a lot darker than what I'm explaining it, and it messes with your head. You get like the humiliation. The whole purpose was like the experiment itself was let's see how far human beings can see other human beings as less than human beings. There were there were 20 people in the experiment. Less than half of them got set up to be guards. The other were the prisoners, and the guards just had to maintain order in the prison toward the prisoners. Long story short, the guards took over the experiment by overpowering the scientists, whose numbers dwindled magically with the clubs that they gave them. Why would you give experimental guards clubs and weapons and then yeah, so they duct taped some of the character. They peed on one of them. They peed on like the main character, just to humiliate him after they shaved his head. And like, haha, you stinky, haha, because the main bad guy had a BO problem. Which, first of all, rude. Second of all, buddy, me too. it was, it was tragic. It was, yeah. I wonder, do Europeans use deodorant? I don't know, actually, no. Whatever. It was quite the experiment. It was so bad. It was so boring. It was dark, and I just left. I don't care. That class is a waste of time. It would either want if I gave up, I could probably still get an A. That and the only reason I attended today, even though I knew we had a movie, is okay. Aside from the movie, that I have to be there because I can't watch it on my own. I have no idea where to find it because I don't like pirating movies. Not that I don't want a record. It's just the ads annoy me. That's the only reason I don't break the law. Is because the ads for pirated websites are obnoxious, and not just the here cut of milfs in my area. Um, the only reason that I was there today was to make the mind map, and then I just stay there. That was really what we had to do was make the mind map of our thoughts, connecting it to anything, which I got full points on. So the second I had that, I left. There's no point. There was no benefit to staying afterwards because all we would do is talk about our feelings and what we wrote down, and then do it again on a whiteboard, and then ask him why he's right, and then he would tell us why he's right. We didn't even need to ask. It's a joke. It's a joke of a class, and it's gonna frustrate me to no end. There's no benefit to the class. I despise sociology. If you're a sociology major, either one, congratulations for being able to stick with a subject that I couldn't care less about, and also shut up forever. Please and thank you, says the rest of society. We don't need you to analyze. It's like the worst version of a psychologist. And psychology's already pretty messed up in the head. Like, let's diagnose you with something for fun. I'm gonna be a special psychologist. I'm a neurosurgeon. I'm a psychologist with purpose. Freud is the father of psychology, and look how messed up Freud is. You really think the rest of the track record is gonna be spotless? Now I'm just getting mean. I gotta be done. I'm tired. I woke up early. I didn't get my napping today, and I don't take naps. Whatever. I'm not in a sour mood. I'm just bitter against that stupid class. But thank you for listening to my rant. Click the sponsorship link in the description. There's no sponsorship. I just had a weird day. Thanks. Good night. I'll see you later. Arigato.